So Isaiah Steinbach is a former NFL wide receiver on the NFL Network's Good Morning Football. His thoughts about the Browns taking Shedeur Sanders, number 2.
Speaking of regards to the Cleveland Browns, can they afford to pass on Shedeur Sanders? My answer would be no. And the reason being is because they don't have enough at the quarterback position. We all know the situation with Deshaun Watson. All right, they gave him $230 million guaranteed. He went out there, it didn't go great. Then he got injured. And then during rehab, he retore his Achilles. So the probability of him playing this year is slim to none. So what do? They go out there, they trade away our guest from yesterday, Dorian Thompson, all right, and they go ahead and they give up a 5th round pick. So now you lost a 5th round pick. You have Kenny Pickett on your depth chart, and that is it, right? So you're going to bring in some guys for camp. You're going to bring in some guys that can go ahead and throw the ball around. But in terms of depth, you don't have any depth at the quarterback position. When you look at trying to rebuild an organization, there is no better quarterback in this year's draft to build an organization around and who has experience to build up organizations that are not doing well than Shedeur Sanders. It's just on his resume. He was at Jackson State, and what did he do? He built that program up, took them from nothing, made them something. He did the recruiting, he played well, all those things, and got them in a winning situation. Then him and his dad go to, obviously, Colorado. And I know you brought this up. I don't know who he is without his dad. It's cool. We're going to find out. He built up Colorado from a non-winning organization and built them up to where they're respectable. So in terms of somebody who has the body of work, Shedeur Sanders is that guy. And on top of that, all you have in Cleveland is Kenny Pickett. And I'm not sure that you feel 100% confident in him being your QB1.
So, G. Bush, here's the way I kind of have, and again, I'm not saying no to Shedeur Sanders. Here's what I would say. If you have Shedeur Sanders ranked top 10, top 15, I can understand reaching for that at 2. If you have him ranked 25, 20, 25, you might be better off looking at that means you're going to have either a Jalen Milroe or a Jackson Dart or a Will Howard ranked close to him. You have to determine, if you're the Browns, what the difference is between where you have Shedeur Sanders ranked and where you have Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter or fill in the blank guy at number 2, and where the second tier of quarterbacks are ranked. That's how you got to do it. Don't fixate in on, we got to get this guy, if you don't have him ranked high enough.
What I would do is I would go, here's the way I probably look at it. I would say, all right, listen, let's look at the group of individuals that weren't graded very highly. If you were to say, all right, let's take a look at, Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts was a 2nd round pick. If you would have told me Jalen Hurts 4 or 5 years ago would be a Super Bowl champion, I would tell you you're crazy. You look at Jalen Hurts and you say, okay, at Alabama, he got his position taken by Tua, who looked like a better upgrade, a better passer, more efficient, all those things. Tua got drafted eventually inside the top 10. Jalen Hurts had to transfer, went to Oklahoma, had a pretty good year, was in the mix for the Heisman, got drafted in the 2nd round. If you ask yourself and you look at Shedeur Sanders, you say, is Shedeur Sanders a better prospect than Jalen Hurts? You would probably say, yeah, listen, we're much better passer. Like some people would probably say that Shedeur Sanders could be possibly a comparable passer at this point of his career, even though he's never played in the league. And you say, okay, cool. If they're comparable, what was the coach able to get out of them? I think the biggest key that we need to understand and the thing that we need to look at is this. These guys are not finished projects. Nobody is a finished prospect. You take a look at all of them involved, whether it's Drake May or Jaden Daniels or CJ Stroud, all quarterbacks and all these guys are going to have some issues. You look at Bryce Young. Bryce Young came out and struggled, looked better. Anthony Richardson looks like he's struggling. My question is, if you feel he has the talent level and you can get the best out of him, then your evaluation is a little bit different than just saying, all right, well, who's on the board? How does he rank in terms of what was before him or to come after him? Because if you're Kevin Stefanski, you say, okay, I had Deshaun Watson, I had Joe Flacco, and I had Jameis Winston. One of the things that all those guys have really good arms, right? We had Deshaun Watson at one point in time could extend plays. Jameis Winston can throw for 500 yards in a game, and we know what Flacco could do. He has one of the strongest arms that we've seen. But the thing that Kevin Stefanski hates more than anything is turnovers and not being able to hit the guy when the guy is open. And the biggest part of those guys is you saw inaccuracies with Deshaun Watson, turning the football over with Flacco and Jameis Winston. It's even if they are throwing for 400 yards. And the thing that Shedeur Sanders does very well is he does not turn the football over. He is very smart. He is a drop back pocket passer. He is not a dual threat guy. But one thing that he is going to do, he's going to be able to throw the ball to guys, get them open. And at the end of the day, he has played in a pro-style offense, played under Pat Shurmur, and he's played when there hasn't been an offensive line. So the things that we are seeing that he can be really great at, I think he would be great at with Stefanski, which could mitigate some of the things in discrepancies when people say, okay, well, just where do you have him on your big board? Can you take a shot at the guy at number 2 when you have him 15 to 20 on the big board? And I think that's up for Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry to figure out.